Welcome, darlings. My name is Cassandra George Sturgis. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pair of ladybug shoes for your cloth rag doll. This is part 9 of 9 in a series on how to make Maggie a black rag doll. Patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Roll 'em up, put 'em in the pan. Patty cake, a baker man. The first thing you need to do is measure your rag doll's foot by tracing the circumference of her foot to create the sole for her shoes. In the picture here, I am having a little bit of difficulty because I'm trying to record it and I can't see the other side, but it really isn't difficult at all. Once you measure your cloth doll's foot, you want to cut out the sole for her shoe. I like to keep the soles or the size of my doll's shoes for future shoes, and I like to label it as well. You may download the rag doll cloth shoe pattern from my website. I am now cutting out the pattern pieces for the ladybug doll shoes. Now what I like to do is once I cut out the upper part of the shoe, I like to use the upper part of the shoe for the inside as opposed to the pattern itself. You know, it's not really necessary to place the other color inside of the doll's shoe, like the yellow fabric with the red ladybugs on it. I just like a pop of color, but a ladybug is red and black, so you know this could actually save you a step. I am using red felt to make the doll's ladybug wings, but you know what? I found some really cute red fabric with black dots that would have been perfect for this project, of course after the fact. Now I started to redo the video using that fabric, but then it wouldn't have matched the pictures, but it's a lot easier than cutting out those little spots. The only thing I hated about making these shoes was cutting out the little spots for the ladybug wings. I found it so tedious. I tried to use a hole punch on felt, but of course it didn't work. So I literally had to cut it out by hand, and I don't know, it just wasn't exciting or fun. I am now cutting out the sole for Maggie's ladybug shoe, and I'm using a piece of cardboard from a shirt, but you can use a cereal box or any type of cardboard so that you'll have a firm foundation for your doll shoe. I am sewing completely around the ladybug wings, and I know some people would like to leave an opening and then go ahead and ladder stitch it. But for me, I like to sew around the entire ladybug wing and then I'm going to cut a little hole in the back, flip it inside out, because no one is going to see the back of it anyway. And sometimes when I do a ladder stitch, it kind of changes the shape a little bit. It's not a big deal, but since no one is going to see the hole, I think it's easier. For the cloth rag doll shoe, if you look in the picture here, I am only sewing the upper part of the doll shoe. So I'm going around the edges and around the head of the ladybug. I will flip it inside out and then sew the bottom, as you'll see later on in the video. As you can see, I am flipping the upper portion of the shoe inside out, and now I'm going to pin my pieces in place and sew around the edges. I am now cutting a small hole in the back of the ladybug wing, as you can see here, and now I'm going to flip it inside out. I am now sewing the bottom portion of the ladybug doll shoe. Guys, I have to be so honest with you. I lost the footage for the original doll shoes when I made the doll, and so I'm really remaking it for the video series. So I am not measuring her foot or being as careful as I normally would be. So if you look at the video and it seems like I'm not really trying to make sure that the upper portion fit the doll, this is actually a third a third shoe that I don't know what to do with. I am now flipping the shoe over, and I'm placing little cuts all around the outer edges of the bottom of the shoe, because this is going to help me glue the shoe onto the sole. I am tracing my cardboard piece onto a piece of foam so the inside of the shoe could be black. Now, sometimes I like to take a fabric and glue it around the cardboard piece to have that nice pop of color, but I just went ahead and decided to go with black. Before placing the sole in the bottom of the shoe, typically I like to measure the doll's foot, like put it inside to make sure that I don't glue too much of the shoe to the bottom of the sole. But like I said before, I am really just doing this to complete the series. Yeah, you would want to be a little bit more careful. Once I have my sole in the perfect spot, I like to glue the very front of the shoe at the top of the toes and the very heel of the shoe, just to make sure that the upper portion of the shoe remains in place and is aligned perfectly. am now using foam with a sticky back to act as the bottom of the shoe. Now you don't have to use a sticky back foam, but just remember, after you glue the upper portion to the sole of the shoe, then you want to measure whatever you're going to use at the very bottom, because the size changes, and you'll use some type of glue, of course, to stick it to the bottom. I like to use ribbons to clean up mistakes that I make around the edges. Now sometimes, depending on the type of shoe I make, I don't always need a ribbon, but ribbons to me, it just kind of give it like a little dolly touch, and sometimes I'll use a contrasting color to help it to make it pop a little bit, but it's just a good way to clean up your mistakes. As you can see, I am now placing the ladybug spots on her wings using hot glue. Now, I should have been using a low setting hot glue gun for this project. With the hot gun, I get a lot of strings, but you can use a different type of glue as well. These are little sticky back pearls that I got from the dollar store. I am using them for the ladybug eyes. You can embroider the eyes, you can paint the eyes on. There are so many other mediums that you can use to create the ladybug's eyes for your doll shoes. I am using a pipe cleaner to create the antennas for your ladybug rag doll shoes, and it's really fun. I am taking a wooden dowel to curl the antenna to give it like a, just a little bit of a fun look, but it's not something you need to do. But if you decide to do so, you can use a pencil or anything, or even your hands. We are now wrapping up video 9 of 9 on how to make Maggie the black rag doll. And the reason I call her a black rag doll, cloth doll, is because she has little cornrows. Not that, other ethnicities wouldn't have cornrows, but just, so people, to give her an identity and not to be offensive, but you can make her no matter what ethnicity or race you are, and give her whatever hairstyle that makes you happy. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next project.